Hello and welcome to CXL Feed. In this lesson, we are going to go through how to reduce subscription churn. My name is Rosie Hoggmascall. I am a product growth consultant for early stage startups. I also write Growth Dives, which is a weekly newsletter with product teardowns to help you get into product discovery every week. So subscription churn, why now and why is it important? So first of all, we have so many subscriptions. There was some research done earlier this year and it showed that the average Brit, so someone who's in the UK, spends around £700 per year on apps and streaming services. It's super, super competitive. If you take that competitiveness and compare it to the cost of living crisis, we see it's getting more and more competitive with people having a number of different subscriptions on at the same time. It's why it's so important that you make an effort to reduce subscription cancellation and make sure that people stick around and retain on your product, not all the other subscriptions that they're paying for. So what's the benefit? Why do this? If you work on your win-back strategies and your subscription churn, you can improve that by 20%. So that's 20% less people cancelling your subscription. If you have people cancelling your subscription, you have more people sticking around. So you're going to improve your revenue retention. And when you improve retention, you're then improving lifetime value, and you can ultimately build a better business and get better unit economics. If you're paying to get these people in, you might as well make them stick around. So that's why subscription churn is so important to work on. In this session, we're going to go through one really interesting example from Loom. We're going to go through the UX, we're going to go through the UX writing, and as well as the CRM that goes with the subscription cancellation flow. So Loom actually reached out and mentioned that this project that they did to reduce subscription churn is called Graceful Goodbyes. And they did actually see an improvement in the retention on their subscription based on the improvements that we'll see in this flow. So super, super interesting. So the first thing is, where do I cancel? You might have tried to cancel something in the past and you've gone into settings, you've gone into another layer of settings and you've gone into another layer and you just can't find where to cancel. That is not the case in Loom. So in Loom, essentially, if I go to settings, which is easily in the left-hand navigation there, when I go into settings, I can then click manage subscription right here. Super easy, super simple. The hierarchy is so simple. It's easy for me to do that. As well as being easy to see where I manage my subscription, I can also see my next billing date, my cost, my plan, all the information that I need in one digestible nugget. So the UX to manage subscription is super easy, super clear, and specifically it's easy to find. What you don't want to do is to be hiding it into your navigation, because that ultimately builds distrust. You want people to be looking at your brand as a brand that's transparent and open and something they can trust. When you scroll down, you can see the number of seats, you can see the bill amount, you can also see all plans. So there's a lot of detail on that page. So I click to manage subscription, and what I see is a screen which has the billing cycle, it has the cost again, and it's reiterated. With users, we need to be reiterating things often. You might tell them they're paying $15 a month, but you need to be reiterating this a lot for them to actually absorb that information. So the key thing here is there's no uncertainties. I know my bill date, I know if I'm billed monthly or annual, and I can see really clearly that I can cancel down here. So I don't have to scroll to cancel. This is all visible and kind of a desktop view. We've got clarity in the navigation, and then we've got clarity in the writing. There's no questions that I have after this. And even if I did, there's a link to the FAQs down here. So we've got clear navigation, clear UX writing, and this cancellation flow. And then the last thing, they reiterate value on the last page. So here we've got the final page before cancellation. And it's not the "we'll miss you," "sorry to see you go." Those phrases mean nothing to users. Instead, what they're doing is telling me exactly when I'll have access till. And they're also then telling me what the benefit I'm going to be missing out on is. So I'm going to have less videos, I'm going to have a time limit, and I'm going to have less features. This is even personalized for me, the screen. So I have 34 videos. I'm going to have to delete 9. This is all personalized and it's all really clear about the value that I'm going to get. So instead of guilt tripping people and shaming them in your cancellation flow, it's a more positive, it's a more value focused type of messaging. There's no guilt tripping, but it is super crystal clear what I'm going to be missing and the benefits of sticking around. And once I do click that cancellation, I get this cancellation email really quickly. And again, there's no "sorry to see you go." There's no "we're breaking up." Instead, it's Rosie Hoggmascall's workspace has been downgraded to Loom Starter. we're confirming that you are scheduled to download. You will now have the following limits. The workspace will lose access to this. If you did this for a mistake, please head here. It's super crystal clear. Again, there's no emotions in it, but it's reiterating the value of what I'm going to lose in a way that doesn't make me feel bad about it. Because I've already taken this decision. I'm allowed an exit here if I did that by mistake, and that was involuntary churn, just to reduce the other type of churn, because you've got voluntary churn and involuntary churn. Involuntary churn is an accident. Voluntary churn is when you've actively opted in. So I've cancelled my subscription, and what can we learn about that whole flow? So when I first analysed this flow, Loom reached out and they said, it's super interesting that you noticed that, because this did actually improve retention. So a lot of people think, oh, if you make it easier to cancel, more people are going to cancel. Not necessarily true. If people are going to cancel, they're going to cancel. And if you stop them from doing so, they lose trust and they're never going to come back later. By letting people go gracefully, you're then allowing them to build and keep that trust with the brand for them to then come back later and know that you're a company that really cares about them and really cares about their experience. If we look at that experience in terms of the number of steps, it only takes me 5 steps to cancel my subscription. If you compare that to a different subscription business like ClassPass, which is an exercise app where you can buy tokens to use at different venues, it takes a huge amount of screens, buttons, hidden things in the UI to cancel. It's over 20. Whereas in Loom, it's 5 simple steps to cancel. So I go from home to settings, we go to manage subscription. I tell them why I want to cancel. I then see what value I'm going to lose. And lastly, I get that email confirmation. So subscription cancellation, super simple. 4 key things to remember. 1, make it easy to find. 2, be crystal clear in the writing what the key details are. 3, show the value that they're going to be missing. Keep the emotions out of it. Keep the value in it. And lastly, fast follow with a very clarifying CRM experience. Now, what next? What should you do? So my favorite thing to do is do a subscription cull. So look at all your subscriptions and think, which ones do I not need anymore? When you go in and cancel your subscriptions, think, how easy is it for me to do this? And count how many clicks, how many taps is it taking for me to go from my decision of I want to cancel this thing to I've actually cancelled this thing. How do you feel at the end? Do you feel shamed? Do you feel positive? Do you feel neutral? Noting all these things down is really interesting and really useful for understanding, is this company doing a graceful goodbye like Loom, or are they doing a confirm shaming goodbye, which is more like the Ryanair, the ClassPass, lots of other different companies do this kind of more dark UX flow. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you find in the comments when you look at your subscription cancellation, and definitely want to focus on to reduce churn by up to 20%. Speak soon. Bye.